Hello everyone, today I am tackling some misconceptions about rollerblading or inline skating, and whether you're a beginner skater, you're returning to skating, or you're just interested in the sport in general, you probably heard some of them, and trust me, they are not true, so let's jump into them. First one is that rollerblading is outdated or it's like 90s thing only, but it's so wrong because skating is very popular nowadays. There are really big, amazing communities all around the world. Like there are communities in London or around the UK. There are a lot of events happening, and I know there are communities in Americas, there are communities in Africa, in Asia, in Australia. So it's popular all around the world. Of course, it's kind of specialty, and you might not know this if you're not interested in that specific sport. As I mentioned, there are a lot of events. So for example, like street skates in London, there's like Sunday stroll, Friday night skate, Wednesday night skate, and also there are competitions. So for example, slalom, slides, aggressive skating, and there are, when I look at those competitions and recordings of them, there are so many people participating. So it's definitely a popular thing, and it's 100% not outdated at all. Another one is that rollerblading is only for kids, and it's not true at all because it is a fun activity for any age, either it's from the little kid or to like a very senior person like in the 80s or 90s. You can do it at any age, and it has great benefits for your health because it keeps you moving. It's much more gentle than, for example, running on your joints, and you are part of the community, so it's also a great social aspect. So it's not just for kids, it's for absolutely anyone who enjoys this activity. And I skated as a kid, and I picked up skates again as an adult, and I have absolutely no regrets. And anyone who asks me, should I give it a try? Always say yes without a doubt. So next thing is that some people say that you don't need to use protective gear, or it's just for beginners or kids. And I completely disagree with that. In my opinion, protective gear is here for a reason, and I think you should use it. I personally use it myself, and there was time when I was skating without it, and there is a big difference the way you skate, and the protective gear gives you more confidence. It's less scary to fall, so you learn much better, much quicker things, and I really encourage that. It's not about being cool or anything, it's about safety and enjoying the sport and preventing the injury. Like, why would you want to get injured and miss out on the things you like, on social activities, and stay home or in a hospital? So why risk that? So I think protective equipment is very important. And I actually did a video recently about protective gear and also a few other things, how you can prevent injury or avoid getting very severe injury. So if you want to check that video out, you can see it on the screen or in the description box below. Some people say that you can't rollerblade anywhere but in skate parks or designated areas. Partially it is true, but that would depend on the country and also on specific locations. So for example, in the UK, you can skate basically anywhere unless it's specifically there are signs that you cannot do it. So you can say skate on the street, you can skate on a pavement, in a park, basically anywhere, unless there is a sign specifying that you cannot do it. You can skate anywhere as long as you don't endanger people around you, especially kids and elderly, and you don't cause damage to the property. So that's a UK. But for example, the difference in Lithuania is that this part of the highway code, what like equivalent of the highway code in the UK, is that rollerbladers and any kind of skaters are considered pedestrians, which means that if pedestrians are not allowed to walk on the road, if pedestrians are not allowed to walk on a cycling path, rollerbladers, skaters are not allowed either. So there are some differences, so it depends on the country where you are skating. So even though this misconception that you can skate only in designated areas is partially true, partially not, but you need to look at specific country or area where you're skating because there might be different laws. But mostly from what I know from the communities I see online, mostly it's pretty free where you're skating, and it's very, very flexible and people look at it quite freely. Next one is that rollerblading works only on smooth surface and you cannot skate if the surface is rough. It is not true. So it depends a lot on what kind of skates, what kind of wheels you have, because yes, if you have skates which are the most commonly used, they are much better on smoother surfaces, but you can still roll through grass, you can still roll through rough surfaces, you can roll through cobblestones, you can still handle it with correct technique. But there are also specific skates which are meant for off-the-road skating, so you can go and skate like on the trail which is not paved, through the forest and so on, but you need specific off-the-road skates. And the main difference, I would say, is the wheel size, because most of the traditional skates, freestyle skates, will have 80mm wheels and they're solid wheels made of some kind of rubber. Off-the-road skates are different because they will most likely will have bigger wheels, something like around 110, 125mm. There will be 3 or 2 wheels only, not 4, which is very common with freestyle. And the wheels themselves are different because you will not have wheels, you'll actually have air tires. So it's more like what you have on the bike, for example, but smaller version. So it's very, very different, the setup, but you still can do it in any setup, on any surface. You just need to have the right equipment. Some people say that rollerblading is not a great exercise. It's not as effective as different types of exercising, and that is not right, because, for example, if you compare it with running, rollerblading is better because it has less impact on your joints, so it's actually better. Also, your obviously leg muscles work really hard when you are skating, but if you're learning certain things like for example jumps, trust me, your abs will work really, really hard. You will feel after a day of practicing jumpings, and your balance improves, your flexibility improves. You also will have your endurance getting better. So skating is definitely a brilliant exercise and it's great for any ages. Some people say that learning skating as an adult is too risky and you cannot do it without any injury. And yes, you can learn it. It is more risky than if you're a child, but that's for absolutely any activity because kids are less likely to get injured whatever they do. And you can pick up rollerblading as an adult and learn it, but there are a few tips what you can do to avoid or prevent serious injuries at the very least. First of all, get protective gear. It's here for a reason. I mentioned it before and I have a video for that, so check it out. Also, you can obviously learn on your own through trial and practice, watching videos online and trying yourself. But what I strongly recommend, take some classes. You will also meet some people, like-minded people who are interested in the same thing. And I think that's brilliant. So, for example, if you are located in London, Oxford or Madrid, I do recommend Learn to Skate School. They have brilliant instructors. I'm skating with them in London myself for 2.5 years roughly. And they have an amazing community and I really, really recommend them. So I will leave a link in the description box below to the main page if you are outside of London. And I will also leave a referral link if you're in London and you would like to get a £5 discount. So yeah, skating is slightly riskier as an adult, but you can still do it. It's really fun. Just make sure that you take precautions and just enjoy yourself. So another misconception is that rollerblades or inline skates are expensive and really hard to maintain, and I completely disagree with that. You can get skates at any budget. They start from £50 to a really high amount. But if you're a beginner skater, you don't need skates which cost £700-800. But I do not recommend going for completely cheap budget skates because the quality will not be great and you won't enjoy skating. I recommend something around £150 to £200 bracket, and you definitely will find skates which work for you. They last long time. So I have these FR skates which I got 2 years ago, and I'm gonna skate for at least another year easily, maybe a couple years. I would now get new skates, not because I need new skates, but because I would like something new, something fresh. And it's super easy to maintain. For example, on these skates, the only things I changed is my laces, just because I wanted red ones, not because the original ones were bad. I didn't make any other changes except that I changed the wheels. So I changed them only once in 2 years, so I don't think that is that expensive. And maintenance wise, wipe them clean, especially after you rinse some were wet. Make sure you dry them so you don't destroy your bearings, and make sure that any screws you have on your skate are tightened so you don't lose them and you don't injure yourself. So they're super easy to maintain. I don't know why some people say that it's hard. And if you'd like to see more tips how to look after your skates, let me know in the comments below and I'll let you know what I do with my skates. And then the final misconception is that tricks are only for pros. And that is wrong, because there are different levels of tricks and even the complete beginners can learn certain tricks. Obviously, if you just picked up your skate, don't expect to skate like a pro. You need to build your skill set, you need to practice, but you can learn anything. It just takes a bit of time and practice and patience with yourself. There are certain things that I can learn pretty quickly. Some others require more time, and that is the same for everyone. Everyone is better at certain areas and worse at other areas. But as long as you really want to learn it, you will. So these are all misconceptions that I wanted to discuss today. If there is anything else that you heard and you want to check if it is true or no, do let me know in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel and I will see you in the next video. Bye!